beautiful ladies.
I should have got the lip gloss too.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reflexology Association of Canada's first Facebook Live for 2026. Happy New Year. Hope everyone got some rest and had your fill of food and chocolates and all those goodies over the holidays. My name is Laura Morast, and I am the Director of Operations at the Reflexology Association of Canada. And I'm joined today by two wonderful people who I'm so excited to speak with today. Maria Fiordalisi, who is the president of the Canadian Federation of Aromatherapists. She's also a registered Canadian reflexology therapist with RAC. And the vice president of the Canadian Federation of Aromatherapists, Shannon Bachorick. I hope I said that correctly, who's also in our CRT. And we're going to be talking today about the blending and combining of aromatherapy and reflexology. For those of you who are watching live right now on Facebook, please feel free to put questions, comments in the chat. We'll try and get to some of those at the end of our discussion. Keep things respectful. We are a wonderful health, well-being minded community, so let's, support and build each other up. If you're watching sometime in the future on YouTube or on Facebook still, again, feel free to comment. We'll try and see if we can get connected or do follow-ups as needed. So, with all that housekeeping out of the way, welcome, both of you. Happy New Year. Wanted to start off first I forgot to mention this. The reason why we're doing these Facebook Lives over the next few weeks is because in 2026, the Reflexology Association of Canada is hosting our 50th anniversary celebratory International Reflexology Conference in Winnipeg, Manitoba from May 22nd to 24th, 2026. I can talk about that more at the end of our discussion. Sorry, I'm just realizing I need to make that a little bit bigger. And Shannon and Maria are both going to be speakers at this event in May. So we are going to be speaking about what they're going to be talking about at the conference, their post-conference workshops, and why it's important, why you should come and attend and hear them speak live. So yes, now with all that housekeeping out of the way, to Shannon and Maria, wanted to get your thoughts first, your perspective. What did you get into first? Aromatherapy, reflexology, because you guys both blend the two. Who would like to start?
I can start, Shannon, if that's okay with you. Okay, so I'm going to say reflexology found me first. That was back in 2012 because I was dealing with some personal health issues and needed something for myself. So I came across it and fell in love with it right away, but also needed to understand how it worked because that's how my brain is. So that's what got me into it. So I took the first course. I did train with an international school, and they had it broken up in modules. So I said, I'm just going to do the first module just so I get a basic understanding. And from there, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of neat. And continued on and completed the full certification. Didn't have any plans on working with people's feet at that time, but I loved it so much. And I thought it was working so well for me that I ended up starting my practice. So that's back in 2012. Aromatherapy came after. I graduated with my aromatherapy certification in 2017 and have been incorporating aromatherapy in with reflexology since then.
Wonderful. No, it's often, I hear this all the time. People aren't expecting to make reflexology their career. They kind of, I'll just try it once, or I'll just take a course for personal interest, and then all of a sudden it becomes people's, passion and livelihood and careers. So Wonderful, Maria. Shannon, how about you? Which came first? The
It was the
reflexology?
opposite. It was
Okay.
the
I
opposite.
love it.
I did aromatherapy first. Um, I started with the same way a lot of people start with, oh, I went to a home party and I smelled all the oils and I thought maybe they tasted good. And then I was told, I did, my research online and I realized, no, you shouldn't be drinking these oils and using them all over. And so then I turned to, I found a certification course and then I learned more about how to use essential oils effectively and responsibly and safely. And I started working with them that way. I also I think I completed my course or my certification in 2017, the same as Maria. And I, my husband's a chiropractor and has a clinic, and I was trying to find a way that, I could work because I was a translator and stress got the better of me with that, so I no longer translate. And I said, what about reflexology? And he said, reflexologists are all fakes. And I was like, okay. So, however, I thought during COVID, I saw people they were pivoting and whatnot, getting grants to pivot and whatnot. So I reached out to SASC something or other careers, and I said, is there a way that I could get a grant to do this reflexology course? I'm really interested in doing this. And I got a grant, and I finished that course, I guess 2 years ago now. And I've used reflexology on my husband, and he said, "Oh, I feel this here." I'm like, "Yeah, so it's not really flaky." So I switched him around too. And yeah, so now I incorporate the two. I create custom blends for clients who request it and use it on their feet.
No, that's. I liked. Thank you for sharing, Shannon. I really liked what you said about using essential oils safely and responsibly, especially coming out of the pandemic. I'm sure you've seen, I guess this segue into sort of my next question about the organization. But I'm sure I've seen, at least in my corner of the world, there seems to be an increase in the amount of interest in essential oils. Everyone's aunt and their neighbor is selling essential oils. So maybe you guys could speak to a little bit, what is the Canadian Federation of Aromatherapists? And I don't know who wants to take that, and then maybe the other person can take why is it important or essential to be properly trained in the use of essential oils? Don't know who wants to take a little bit about the organization first.
You start with that, Madame President. You did.
So, okay. Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you. So the Canadian Federation of Aromatherapists, so we celebrated our 30th anniversary, I'm going to say 4 years ago.
Congratulations.
So we're in business, 34 years. We are the leading aromatherapy organization or association, I should say, in Canada. And our focus is mainly on, I'm going to say, elevating aromatherapy knowledge beyond the wellness trend space, right? So it's more into clinically informed information, evidence-based practices. And we've got a very cohesive group of a board group that works very closely together. And so, like any other association, we are always looking and striving to create a membership that is very there's a specific word that I want to use in terms of supporting our therapists and ensuring that they have a very successful career. So we do a lot in terms of education, continuing education. So that I think I'm going to stop there because I think that's it. It's in a nutshell.
No,
I think what we want to do is like take the hobbyist and turn them into a
Yes.
professional. it's and have that education backing behind them.
No, education is always so important. So with that, maybe Shannon, you can speak to why, in CFA's perspective, why is it important to be properly trained in the use of essential oils aromatherapy?
A lot of people think that essential oils are, oh, they're natural, and therefore I can do whatever I want with it. But arsenic is natural, cyanide is natural. So there's parameters in the way that essential oils should be used. Essential oils are made up of sometimes several hundred, constituents, like little tiny constituents. They're not just, it's kind of like when you bake a cake. A cake isn't just a cake. A cake is sugar, a cake is milk and butter, and that all goes into one thing to make one cohesive substance. And so as an aromatherapist, we learn what goes into an essential oil. We learn what the chemistry is inside an essential oil and how that chemistry is going to react with your body, inside and outside of your body. And so once it's placed on your skin, we learn how it gets into your body through your skin. We learn in Canada, we don't really learn about ingestion. That's not really our purvey, but there is an educated and a way to do it internally. We don't deal with that with the CFA. You have to be very thoroughly trained in that. You can't be insured to do that in Canada either, so we just stay away from that. However, we try to educate the public on how is a safe way and like I said before, in a responsible way. Essential oils they're made up of plant material, and it takes a lot of plant material and a lot of water and a lot of energy to make an essential oil. So when I say using them responsibly, I'm not just talking about like, oh, I have a 4-year-old and I can only use certain oils at a certain amount on a 4-year-old. I need to know, has that been sustainably produced? Where that oil is coming from, is it a threatened or an extinct or near extinct plant species? So it's all these things that go into using a bottle of oil. It's not just going to the grocery store and grabbing a bottle of lemon off the shelf. You need to know what's going into that bottle and how it's going to come out of you and go through you.
No, thank you so much. I hadn't even thought of the idea of the sustainability of the creation of the oils and how that plays into the entire market. Maria, you wanted to add something.
No, I wanted to add because Shannon brought up a good point about how it takes a lot of plant material to make essential oils, and I think that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions out in the public, is that people don't realize how concentrated the plant material is in a small bottle of essential oil. They're very potent. And so that's why we really focus in on responsible use and being trained to use them accurately, safely, understanding the chemistry of the essential oil, and then, of course, therapeutic actions and application of that essential oil. So that's one of our mandates as well at the CFA.
No, I love it. I think generally as a sort of society, we've been moving on this trend. I hate to call it a trend, but we're moving towards in every aspect of our lives. Let's talk about sustainability, from what we eat, what we wear. And it's so interesting to also add that sustainability lens onto essential oils. So, checking where, like you said, Shannon, where it's manufactured, how it's produced. Is it produced in a sustainable manner? I mean, we're talking about that with chocolate for what, we just came out of the holiday season. We talk about sustainably farmed cocoa, so why not talk about sustainability as well with essential oils? I didn't think of that. I love that. Let's pivot a little bit to, we know a lot of holistic health practitioners, wellness practitioners, love essential oils. We know clients are often now also requesting, or they, last time I went for a massage, there was 3 scents that, my massage therapist said, choose from one of these 3 scents. This is what I'm going to put in the diffuser so that you could smell it while we're doing our massage. So we
We're
know
both cringing.
so we know this is happening in the wellness and the health and the spa even spaces. You're coming to our conference this year to talk about blending aromatherapy with reflexology. Actually, before we get into that, aromatherapy essential oils, are the terms interchangeable?
It can be for this purpose, yeah.
Yeah.
I think for this purpose, yeah, aromatherapy is much broader than just essential oils,
Okay.
because it's anything that you can essentially inhale the aroma of. So it doesn't need to always be an essential oil. I think essential oils are most closely related to aromatherapy.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification. So you're coming to speak at our conference about blending aromatherapy and reflexology. Not, we're teasing people. We want people to come hear you live. But in a nutshell, kind of why might a reflexology therapist, be trained to use essential oils? Why might, you want to blend the use of essential oils and reflexology? Like, how do they work together?
You want to go, me go?
I think we can both answer this together, right? And because essential oils, we can use them when we know how to use them properly. We can also use them effectively in activating that parasympathetic nervous system resets in measurable ways, and that's probably one of the uh, fundamental ways that I use it in my own practice is because it is very complementary to a reflexology treatment because they
And
work hand in hand.
yeah. And I think as an RCRT, we have to take a thorough intake. We have to see what is going on with our clients before we lay a finger on them. And so we need to know, are you taking any medications? Do you have any underlying conditions? Do you have epilepsy? And is that epilepsy going to be triggered by an essential oil? It's all those things that we need to know. And so with that, if we're using, and we should all be using a proper intake form and getting that proper, snapshot of what's going on with the client. Once we have that, then we can make a decision, an informed decision as to what essential oils this client's going to need or what's going to work best with them and not trigger any other underlying conditions. And is that what the question was?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good starting point. Now, how might a reflexology therapist utilize essential oils in a session? Like, is it something that you would combine with a lotion or a cream, or something you put directly on skin? Is it something you would just inhale? Maybe give people what would a blended session look like?
Can I go back a step when you
Sure.
mentioned about what the massage therapist was going to put in the diffuser for the
Sure.
day?
Yeah.
So we are we are not very comfortable as aromatherapists. We're not comfortable with public diffusion. And so if you're with a massage therapist and you're in your one room and that's it, that's great. But if they're diffusing that for the entire clinic to smell, that can open a can of worms and expose others to potential allergens. And so um, if you want to incorporate just the inhalation in a session, you can use a nasal inhaler, which I don't have on me,
I know I
but
was just looking for one.
so the client can smell this blend as they're being worked on, as opposed to diffusing it throughout the clinic. Just putting some essential oils on a cotton ball or on a Kleenex, and they can just have that with them throughout the session. I was trained to do reflexology with lotion. I know that's kind of it can be contentious, but that's how I was trained. And so I will create a custom blend and add that to the lotion that in a proper dilution. That's another thing that we need to discuss.
And with consent.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, you can't just be like pouring oil all over people's feet and rubbing them in. They have to be properly diluted. And so I will create that lotion for the session and then and send it off with the client, whatever's left over to use at home or bring back next time.
Oh, nice. Back to the sustainability, if not just a one-time thing, coming back for a future session. Maria, how do you, I
Yeah.
guess, like integrate the
So
two?
I do very similar to what Shannon does. I think we were trained very similar, although we because we're certified in aromatherapy, we can also when Shannon said we can custom create a blend for our client on the spot, like right for them specifically for their treatment. But what we can also do is blend products for them that they can take home with them and use in between the sessions, which is also very nice because it's allowing them to do a little self care in between as well, in between the sessions. So but in terms of in clinic use, definitely I add it to lotions or body oil if based on the preference of the clients and of course their consent. We do aromatic anchoring as well, so and we can talk a little bit more about this during our
Sure.
conference during the conference. But where we when we achieve that rest and digest state for the with the client, supporting that to go deeper into that state, you can use aromatherapy as a really nice way to close off your session, which serves the clients really, really well. Yeah.
No, nice. And closing is right. Finishing off a session is so important, and then getting your clients, coming out of that. So if there's ways to keep, some of that uh, sense longer, that sounds like a good way to augment your session. So you guys, you mentioned you're both certified aromatherapists. How long is, I guess, the traditional aromatherapist training? If people were, considering it as something to do.
So there's different levels of training and certifications within Canada and the US area. Shannon, I'll just talk to this and then you can add in your piece. So there are, if we look at the Canadian Federation of Aromatherapists specifically, we have in order to obtain your designation, you have to complete course requirements of 425 hours, which also includes 100 hours of anatomy and physiology. The time it takes, it depends on the school that's administering the courses because, while some schools are completely online and self-paced, while other schools, do in-person training. I do a hybrid version. I teach in person and virtually. So I think it all depends on the school structure, but typically, uh, for a student to complete the course requirements plus all the case studies, I'm going to say anywhere between 1 to 2 years.
Okay. And you agree, Shannon? Yeah.
Seems like forever, but
What 2 years goes by fast. I don't know. Time has no meaning anymore. That's what I've been saying to everyone. So you guys are going to be presenting a 90-minute seminar at the conference. I believe your seminar number 2 is going to be held Saturday, May 23rd, at the beautiful Canadian Museum for Human Rights. Give us a teaser. So in that one, you're going to just be introducing us to blending aromatherapy and reflexology. Anything?
we're going to start out with the safety. We're very, very big on the safety.
Good.
And like I said, you just can't be pouring this all over. And yeah, learning how to do this safely and And yeah, we'll give a little bit of a history of essential oils and a history of aromatherapy. We don't want to bore you with that, but
Context is
But
important.
then also how it ties in very nicely with reflexology and the compounding effect that you can have with reflexology plus aromatherapy.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you're not able to join us live in person, we are offering a virtual component. I'll speak a little bit more on that end. And then following the conference on Saturday, June 13th, you're going to be doing a longer, more in-depth post-conference workshop. It's happening virtually, so if people are worried about traveling, don't worry. You can meet with both of them and learn all of this online. And in that workshop, what's going to be sort of the highlights?
Pretty much the same as what we're doing in the 90-minute, but just more in depth.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to go more into dilution and how to dilute properly in order to blend safely for your clients during a session, and a little bit more into the chemistry, just so that the basic, just basic understanding. Like we won't go into constituents, but we'll, go into why there's this therapeutic effect with these essential oils as opposed to this essential oil. And also, I think the other important piece that we'll cover is just talking about, common name versus Latin name, and how to purchase essential oils to the best of your ability, good quality. There's a lot of marketing terms out there floating around. Therapeutic grade, which is not doesn't exist. It's either an essential oil or it's not, and they're all therapeutic. So, if just misconceptions, I think we'll really hone into, and uh, yeah.
We're gonna have like a a number of essential oils that we will discuss why you would use this essential oil. And, if somebody comes in with a stomach ache, for instance, well, let's try this and this and this. And, things like that. We'll go into that a little bit more.
You had mentioned
Um,
earlier the idea of being clinically informed with essential oils. So I'm going to assume this is kind of what you're going to talk a little bit more about in your workshop. The idea of being clinically informed, kind of how to, critically think through what to do in certain situations. Is that
Yes,
good for some?
and what not to do.
What not to do?
Yes.
Always important.
and a little first aid if it doesn't
Yes.
work out for you.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to open up. We've been speaking for 30 minutes. Going to open up to the chat. I'm just going to refresh here, make sure if anyone had any questions, comments, please feel free to ask in the comments. I'm monitoring it. Guess well, I'm still not seeing anything, but I guess I know I just asked a little earlier, but maybe I'll reframe it. From your organization's perspective, I know you said sort of post-COVID there seems to be an increase, but have you what do you think is driving sort of the growth or the interest, let's say, in essential oils?
Just people wanting to do things naturally, and this whole idea that they want to be chemical free and they don't want any chemical. But the thing is, everything is a chemical. Like everything's made up of chemicals. We're chemicals. Water is a chemical, and so a lot of it is greenwashing, like the natural chemical free things like that, and people are making up their own cleaning supplies and their own with essential oils because they think it's more natural, which yes, it is. However, that's just it. People want to be more natural. That's what I think.
Okay. Maria, do you have any thoughts, perspectives?
Yeah, I think there's very similar to what Shannon was speaking about, because I think there's a lot more people out there that are seeking more natural alternatives, and who want more. I'm going to say more agency over their well-being, right? As opposed to more directly involved in their own well-being, especially post-pandemic. That can create a little bit of tension though, because you can go down a slippery slope, right? Without proper guidance. And like there's a lot of good information out there, but there's also a lot of misinformation out there. And it's being able to think critically as opposed to just taking what somebody says as true or marketing. um, but I do see an increase in people wanting to get more involved in their own well-being.
Yeah. No, I think it's important. I think it leads to larger conversations about healthcare. How do you take control of your own health? How can you be your own health advocate? So, being properly informed about the variety of options or opportunities or other ways to help manage everything from pain and anxiety and some of the other symptom stress that we constantly feel and have to deal with day to day. So I thank you both for the things you're doing in the aromatherapy and reflexology space to push that forward and get people to be properly informed and critically think through some of the solutions that aromatherapy can offer.
Yeah. And I think Shannon will agree with this too, because we're here to advocate the use of essential oils, safely and sustainably. But we're also here to provide guidance on why we're using it, how we're using it, when we're using it, and when not to use it, right? So it's like very holistic.
I love it. Love the holistic. Well, if you guys are excited as I am about learning more about integrating essential oils into reflexology, please go check out our website, www.reflexologyconference.com. There should be a link somewhere on the live, so that you can see our full conference special. If you go to post-conference workshops, you'll see Shannon and Maria's post-conference workshop scheduled there for June 13th. Click on it, register for it. We'd love to see you both in person in Winnipeg or online. There is a virtual component to the conference. So if you're not able to join us in Winnipeg, you can still purchase a virtual ticket and you'll get access to the live streams like this of the in-person event of all the seminars and the panel discussions and keynotes. Thank you both to Shannon and Maria for joining with me today for our first live stream of the year. This actually went off really well. I'm actually really happy. We're going to be hopefully interviewing some more of our speakers. We got some more cool announcements coming up in the next few weeks ahead of May. I guess last thing before we go, what are you looking forward to for the conference in May? Shannon, Maria.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting this Ontario girl out to the prairies.
And I'm excited to come to Winnipeg. I haven't been to Winnipeg yet, so I'm really, really excited. Yeah.
Excellent. We planned it in May, so hopefully, barring, Winnipeg can sometimes be unpredictable with the weather, but usually after May long weekend, it's usually pretty good. So we're excited to have both of you here in Winnipeg. Thank you so much for your time. Oh, where can people find out more about CFA? What are all your follows and contact details?
So the CFA, the website is
CFAcanada.com.
Yeah, www.cfacanada.com. Or you can do a search for Canadian Federation of Aromatherapists.
I think it's Canadian Aromatherapy on Facebook and Instagram. I did check that before I left.
Are they the same now?
We're just going to make sure that they're the same because we've been making sure everything's aligned and consistent branding.
Facebook is, Canadian Aromatherapy.
Yes.
And Instagram.
It's always important that people know how to
Yes.
get in contact with you.
Yeah.
So,
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
oh, yeah, Shannon's looking up for Instagram. I'm just going to do one more comment check.
CFA
Make sure.
Canada.
Is it? Okay.
Okay. So make sure to go to their website, message, check out their Facebook and Instagram, and thank you all for who are watching live or later on in the future. We'll be back next week, January 14th, same time with our next speaker. I'm very happy to hopefully chat with everyone again, and looking forward to meeting Shannon and Maria in person in May. So
Yes, thank you very much.
take care, everyone.
Thank
Take care.
you.